Everybody, welcome to Malt Music Whiskey Reviews. I'm Eric. Up on the bar port today, I got a special uncorking of the brand new Elijah Craig barrel proof batch number C921. As always on the channel with an uncorking review, I'll give you a nose, taste, finish of this bourbon. I'll tell you a bit about the value, share my final thoughts, give you a score. And first, let me just give you a bit of background here on the Elijah Craig and the barrel proof range. So Elijah Craig comes out of the Heaven Hill Distillery, and this barrel proof stuff they've been doing for years now. They do 3 batches releases each year. They are all 12 years old of unchill filtered bourbon. You can tell which batch you're getting by the specific batch number that they put here on here. So it will start with a letter and 3 numbers. So for example, this is C921. The C basically just means it's the third release of the year. The 9 represents the month. You will also see this either as a 1 or a 5, denoting the months that they are released, and the 21 being 2021. This bottle in particular, same barrel proof logo on it, same approach, 12-year-old age statement on the back. This one is coming in at 60.1% ABV or 120.2 proof. So it's definitely got some pop to it. Of the 3 releases this year, this is right in the middle. The B release, which was 59.1, that was back the one originally bottled in May, and then the A release was 61.8, and that one was back in January. All right, now that we got that out of the way, let's check it out. Okay, there is the beautiful, glorious color that we always get out of these Elijah Craig barrel proof releases. Ooh, on the nose, it's rich, spicy, and sweet. I'm picking up hints of dark caramel, cherry, toasty, almost like cinnamon toast. There's a really nice char note coming through. A little bit deeper, there's, not detecting much ethanol or anything like that. I mean, again, this is a 60% alcohol whiskey, but 68.1% to be exact, but no hints of ethanol at all. It smells potent, but it's not knocking my nose out of place or anything like that. There's a little bit of hints of apple in this too. I want to say green apple. It's kind of in the background. All right. Let's give it a taste. Cheers. Rich, oily whiskey. This one's skewing a bit more on the oakier side of things. As I was kind of mentioning, picking up some of that oak char on the nose, you're definitely getting an oakier profile on the palate here. Some of these tend to be a bit sweeter and lighter. I'm thinking particularly of the citrus notes of the B release here in 2021. This one is much darker. It develops really nice dark brown sugar, cinnamon spice, almost like hot cinnamon candy to some degree. Very nice texture. But you get into this oak right at the end of the development, into the finish. You have a kind of a dark chocolate, almost a little bit of a coffeed long finish, popping sweetness here and there. Very much more on the drier oaky side of things. We'll do one more sip neat and I'll put some water on it. I think note of cherry there. Robust for sure, but the thing I'm really liking so far is this is very, very palatable neat out of the barrel. You're not being overpowered with too much alcohol burn or anything like that. Let's just drop a couple drops on here, a teaspoon and a half, to see if we can tone this down a little bit, see what else happens. There's that cherry note again. Oakier still now with water. Fresh cut wood. Looks like you've walked into a carpenter's workshop. Nice kind of Christmas spice, cinnamon spice, clove. Vanilla's coming through a bit more now with the water. But still, the profile's generally, again, very barrel driven, oaky, and the sweetness is kind of right there in the background. Okay, here we go again. A lot of complexity here, surprisingly so, given that we're even here on the neck port, but I'm starting to get some more different types of fruit notes. Before it was just apple, now there's some kind of orange. It's like an orange marmalade kind of poking through here and there. The vanilla and the light caramel, much more in balance now with that darker oaky spice and that cinnamon that I was mentioning that we had at neat. Actually, this is a little bit better with water, just bringing out a bit more, but again, very palatable neat. Interesting here on the finish is this rye note that I'm getting. These are not high rye mash bills from what I understand, but definitely picking up a nice little rye spice on this. Okay, so bottle of the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. This is something that not exactly an exclusive release, but they can be a little bit hard to come by. If you do come by this on the shelf in your store, I would be heading out right now here in November if you're looking for this C921 batch. You'll find this anywhere from $65 on the low end to sometimes up to $90 on the high end. I would say even at the higher prices, this is still one of the better bourbon releases you can get your hands on each year. That's not heavily allocated. So I'm going to give this a medium high value here on this Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. And here we go with final thoughts. So batch C921, this is a good one. I'm really enjoying how rich this is, given the season that we're in, heading into winter in most parts of, winter weather, I should say, in most parts of the country. This is a real winter warmer for sure. The oakiness in this, while normally not really my favorite thing, is surprisingly well balanced, especially with the addition of water, with some of those more like mid-level fruit flavors and a bit of that kind of classic vanilla caramel sweetness. So I really like what's going on here. This is going to be a fun one to explore as the oxygen works its magic on the bottle here. And again, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof does not really disappoint. No matter what release you get your hands on. Looking back at the 3 releases this year, you can check out my Elijah Craig Barrel Proof playlist if you want to go back and see my thoughts on this or from years prior. The A batch, I think, is still probably the one on top for me. I give that around a 4.5. The B batch was actually one of the first ones that was below a 4 score. It was a 3.75. There was a mid-citric quality to it that I just couldn't quite get my head around. And so that one I found to be maybe the most disappointing I've had since I started doing these. But this one, while again, a bit oakier, which I do think is, well balanced in this case. I think there have been other batches where it was a little bit too prominent. This is going to be another just really, really good one. And so I'm going to give this a 4.25 out of 5, which means I definitely recommend you go out and get yourself a bottle. So that is your final score on Elijah Craig Barrel Proof 12 years old, batch C921, bottled at 60.1% ABV. Go get your hands on it. And with that, I will see you guys next week here on Malt Muser Whiskey Reviews. Cheers.